Are you adding more trauma to your trauma? Most of us are without even aware that we're doing it. I mean, so many times things come up in our lives that we need to deal with and we push it back down. A lot of people call this a trigger, but it also shows up in resistance. It also shows up in issues we're having in our life in general. It shows up in frustration. It shows up in any feeling that we tighten in our body. That's trauma coming to the surface. Now, a lot of people have a misunderstanding about trauma. They think it's like this big catastrophic event. But trauma could be as small as when you were crying. Small, but to me it's big. That in your parents didn't pick you up, or for me, I was always scared of puppets, and my dad made me go into the front, and I started crying, and he made me stay there. These little things affect little kids, and this thing with the masks right now is kind of scary for me. But I held little Debra, and I let her know that we're safe and everything's okay, and we just stay away from the mask people, and we're okay. But things like that, they come up to the surface, and a lot of times we're that mean parent, and we do to ourselves what our parents did to us. And why do we do that? We're not doing it purposely. It's just we were told when we were little, or we were scolded or whatever, when we cried, or when we got angry, or when we threw a tantrum or whatever, and we sucked up that energy. It's like that energy got stuck inside. And the more that happened, the more it created energy blockage inside of us, and it gets activated. There's no way that it can't. And if energy can't stay inside, what we suppress has to be expressed some way. And a lot of times it gets expressed through body syndromes. It gets expressed through illness. It gets expressed through addictions, through anxiety, through chronic fatigue, through fibromyalgia, and all these things are energy blockages in our bodies. And when we have those symptoms, our bodies are speaking to us. We need to pay attention. When we're frustrated, that part of us needs help. That part of us needs understanding. That part of us needs love. My whole thing is about love and loving ourselves unconditionally, but a lot of us aren't doing that because we think that we need to be happy all the time. And that really hurts us. That damages us even more. And what it does, it just keeps that energy down inside, and we'll never be free. We're hurting ourselves more than helping ourselves by suppressing our energy. And if we could see it from that way, maybe we'll be more gentle with ourselves when feelings come up, when emotions come up, when challenges come up, when anything that happens in our lives that we have a challenging time dealing with it. That's when we need to deal with it. That's when we need to be still and hold that part of us. We have all the different parts of us going on inside, and one part wants one thing, another part wants another thing, and this happens a lot when we want to get in a relationship with somebody, and there's a part of us that maybe want, and that's our conscious thinking mind, but subconsciously we may be pushing it away, because if I'm in a relationship, I might feel that pain again. If I'm in a relationship, I might lose my freedom. If I'm in a relationship, they might control me, and I might abandon myself, and I don't have a voice, I don't know how to speak, so I'm going to keep that relationship at bay. This is going on subconsciously, not consciously. And the thing is, we need to understand what's going on subconsciously. A lot of times with eating disorders and addictions, and that's just the surface level. That's not what's really happening. What's really happening is maybe we're trying to find relief. Maybe there's something that we're avoiding, or maybe there's something that we don't know how to face. So it's easier to eat, to smoke, to drink, or to whatever. And the more we've done this, if we've done this for a long time, it's an automatic response. We don't even think about it. It's just part of the day. Most of us go about the day in an automatic, habitual way, and one part of us is in control. Like I said, we have so many different parts of us. Like when somebody comes in for session, when somebody goes in for therapy or whatever, that part is not the part that's actually we're working with. That part is there, but we need to go deeper. We need to go to the part of us that's creating the symptoms. We need to have a better understanding of all parts of our being in order to feel more at peace internally. And we're not going to feel at peace just by thinking a better thought, because that part that part that's getting our attention will come up in another way and another way and another way, until we make peace with that part, until we have a better understanding, until we bring it into the loving. And we talk about shadow working and projection and things like that. And when people come into our lives who are negative, and we say, oh, that person's dark, that person's negative, I don't want to be around them. That's what we're doing inside. That part of me is dark, that part of me is negative. I'm going to push it aside because I don't think it's accepted. And the more we've pushed that down, the more we don't even know those parts of us. They're out of our conscious awareness, and they show up, like I said, through different symptoms in our body. Say we have a headache, so something in us is speaking. A lot of people will take a pill. Say we have problems with our throat, that's our throat chakra, expression. What am I needing to express that I can't express right now? Pain in our back, lower back pain, all these things. Our chakras are actually telling us different things. So different parts of our body has different experiences stored there. And the thing is like when we're in tune with our bodies, we can understand what's really going on internally more than our conscious thinking mind. The challenge is our conscious thinking mind is going to protect us from that. So it's helpful to see somebody like me to help you go into that, to really understand what's going on internally and to really have what you want, because there's a part of you that wants that, but there's also a part of you that may be resisting it. So to push yourself through just wears you out, and that's actually self-abuse, to push yourself through anything, because what you're doing is you're denying a part of you that needs your attention. So what we want to do is we want to bring our parts together in the loving. We want to have a better understanding. We want them to work together. When you're in an office working with other people, the office functions better when they're working together, right? Same thing, when your inner parts are working together, you feel more at peace internally. Sure, you can manifest things, but you're never going to be really happy until all parts are on the same team. Sure, you can get in a relationship, but that stuff's going to come up. It's going to come up in relationship. And the thing about relationships, a lot of people think we're like, oh, we want that perfect relationship. Everything's going to be fine or whatever. And maybe it is the beginning because we're all on our best behavior, but that stuff comes up because our subconscious is always looking for ways to heal. We can't avoid it. We can try to avoid it. We can try to stay away from people. We can try to stay away from negativity. We can try to stay away from putting ourselves in situations that may bring us pain. But all that does is we're doing the same thing. We're trying to protect ourselves from ourselves. So the thing, how do we heal? We go into it. We feel the pain. Resistance to the pain is what creates suffering. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. So anytime we resist a feeling, that causes suffering. And that's what we're feeling in our bodies. And it's mean. It's not nice. It's mean. Your little inner child saying, please love me. I'm trying to get your attention now. I want you to hold me. I want you to listen to me. I want you to know what I'm feeling. Please understand me. Same thing when somebody comes at you, they're saying the same thing. If they're screaming at you, all they're saying is, please love me, I don't know how to deal with life. Now, I know it's not our responsibility to take care of them, because everybody is responsible for their own lives, but we can hold a space of compassion. We can hold a space of taking care of ourselves by staying in the loving and being loving as we can, because not everybody's easy to be loving with when they're in that mode, but to stay in our loving so we protect ourselves, and it's not even protecting ourselves, because we don't need to protect ourselves from anything unless we feel we need to protect a part of ourselves that's actually feeling the same thing. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people say, oh, I'm an empath. Well, yeah, you're an empath, but you can't really feel somebody else's energy unless that energy is inside of you. It gets activated. And that's the thing. Once we heal that, we'll come from a place of compassion instead of a place of, I need to protect myself from you. And this is kind of like another learning that a lot of people don't understand, but and take what you want, leave the rest. I'm not saying that I'm right. It's just something that I've learned that has helped me, and how I've seen my journey evolve, and how I've become more peaceful around people who may have triggered me in the past. And it's so beautiful when you work through that and see the people who trigger us as angels in disguise. So my whole thing is to help my clients have, an integration, meaning so we integrate on inside. So we have all parts speaking. So we don't have one part, wanting something and another part putting the brake on, meaning we want to ride in the car together. We want to have a jolly ride. We want to be in that office together, which is our inner office. We want to be more loving and compassionate with ourselves. And as we're more loving, compassionate with ourselves, we will have that loving loving, compassionate relationship with others, and especially if you're wanting to be in a relationship with somebody, especially if you're wanting to move forwards in your career and manifest, things that you is really in tune with your heartfelt dreams and all that. We need all parts on the same team. So if you'd like to support on your journey, feel free to contact me. I would love to support you. I know you can do this if you choose. I believe in you and I love you.